everybody. My name is Candace Tyler, and I am the Community Relations Coordinator here at BizIQ. And today on our Facebook Live or Twitter Live or YouTube Live, wherever you're streaming in from, we're going to do things a little different. I am passing the mic to Mr. Jake Janoski, who is our paid ads manager, and he has a bunch of good stuff to tell you today. We just ran through it a little bit, and he gave me a little sneak peek of what he's got behind the curtain, and it's awesome, and I'm so excited, and I can't wait to share this with you guys. So without further ado, I will hand the mic over to him.
Thank you, Candace. Super excited to be here. So today we're going to discuss the importance of attribution modeling and conversion values in your paid media campaigns. But before I get into the importance of attribution modeling and conversion value, one thing I noticed, Candace, is there's a step that a lot of business owners miss and marketers miss, right? And that's making sure that you fully understand as a business owner and as a marketer what the marketing objective is for this campaign. You can refer to it as a marketing objective. The most common ones are increased sales, increased leads, brand awareness, website traffic, or increase your in-store traffic. Let's say you have a retail location, you want more foot traffic. I refer to them as what's called a SMART goal. Now, the reason I do that is because it has to be something specific as far as sales, right? I want more sales. Okay, well, give me a specific number. I need to know how many more sales you want. I need to know that it's measurable, right? I have to be able to calculate it. I have to be able to know that we started at X and now we're at Y, and it cost us X amount to get there, and we made X to, we generated this much in revenue. So this is our return on investment. Has to be something that's achievable, right? If you're normally doing $100,000 a year and you say, Jake, I want to do $20 million, it's probably not very achievable, right? Something over time, right? That can get there, but something that's not going to happen immediately. Also has to be extremely relevant to your business, and you want to make sure it's time bound, right? So if you say, hey, Jake, I want $20 million, great. Give me a time limit. How long do you want that to take? How long can How long do I have to get that $20 million for you? So it's very, very crucial that you understand what your marketing objective is as a business owner, and as a marketer, you need to understand what that business or that marketing objective and or SMART goal is in order to make sure you're achieving that goal.
Yes, and one thing I just want to swoop in here, with SMART goals, it's always nice to have that. So then hey, is this marketing objective that I'm about to invest in really going to reach a profit for me, or is it going to go with where I want to go? One example that I have is we use SMART goals in our own, what are we going to call our own jobs. We make SMART goals so that we can make sure of where we're moving forward, where BizIQ is moving forward, and we can always look back at it. So every time we make a video, we're like, all right, we're making a video, but how does this align with the SMART goal that we have made for our department? And it's really nice to just have that checks and balances system.
Completely agree. I use SMART goals in my personal life as well. Doesn't necessarily have to be a business thing too. So it works in multiple ways, right? If you want to grow as an individual, set a SMART goal for yourself, right?
Yes.
So let's get back to the nitty gritty here, right? So attribution modeling. Now that we understand what our marketing objective is, and I'm going to use increased leads as an example. I'm going to use an HVAC company probably throughout our discussion here, because we are in the wonderful state of Arizona here, and it is extremely hot. So HVAC is a pretty popular industry vertical here in Arizona. So what is attribution modeling, and why is it important? So the definition of attribution modeling is it's a rule or a set of rules that determines how credit for sales, leads, or in other words, a conversion, is assigned to touch points along a conversion path. So a conversion path basically is what the user did until they did your desired action that you want them to do, right? If it's an HVAC service, you probably want phone calls, right? So what did that user do until they made that phone call? Now there's different paths that can happen through conversion, right? You have path one as an example. I need HVAC service. I go to Google, I type in HVAC service near me. I see your ad, Candace. I click on it and I call you immediately. That's ideal, right? One click, one conversion. That's what we would like. However, the internet really doesn't work that way anymore. It used to, but it's gotten very different. So multi-click or multi-path conversion funnels are really big right now. So if we look at path 2, I type in HVAC services near me. I click on your ad. I go to your website. I may then go to your Facebook to check out if you're really big in the community, maybe check out your reviews, then decide, hey, I'm going to go grab some lunch. I'm pretty hungry. Now I decide to come back home. And instead of using the same keyword that we used first, right, HVAC services near me, now I'm at my house and it's extremely hot. So I type in AC repair near me. So it's a completely different keyword. Your ad still comes up, right? Because we're targeting that keyword. I click on your ad and I call you. The difference there is I had multi-clicks, so multi-conversion path. I had multiple ways to get there until I converted, but I used 2 separate keywords. Now, the reason why I want to make sure I'm using a different attribution modeling other than, let's say, first click or last click is because one of the top ways to optimize any sort of paid media campaign is your keywords. It's the foundation of your campaign. So HVAC services is a beginning of the funnel keyword for me, and AC repair is the end of the funnel, which is closing it, right? Mm-hmm. So I may look at HVAC services and say, man, in the last 14 days, HVAC services has cost me $500 in clicks, but I have 0 conversions, and then I pause that keyword. Now, what did I do? I paused the beginning of the funnel. So now the performance of my campaign is just going to plummet, right? Because this is the keyword that's bringing everybody in. Not necessarily converting, but it's assisting in that conversion. Does that make sense, Candace?
Yes. One thing a question I do have is, do you typically see path 1 taken more often or path 2?
Yeah, it depends on vertical. Vertical is pretty specific, but I would say that in the times now, path 2 is the most common across all verticals. I would say path 1 is very common for emergency services, right? Emergency roadside assistance, right? I'm gonna click, I'm gonna call, my car's broke down, I got a flat tire, come help me, blah 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 blah, right? I'm in my home, my toilet's overflowing, and I got water everywhere. I need an emergency plumber, right? So emergency services typically are very few multi-click funnels. It's usually one click, one conversion type. But a lot of people in the services industry, right? Let's use HVAC again, right? You're coming into my home, right? I have minor children in my home. I need to know that you're a trustworthy company. So I'm going to go look at your website. I'm going to go check out your Facebook, see if you're engaging in the community, probably go look at your Google My Business, read some of your reviews, and then I'm going to convert, right? So the multi-click conversion funnel is very, very common nowadays.
What do you think is causing that? Why do people bounce around so much? Do you have any? Is it just like where we are?
I think it's just because of the times we're in now, and that there's just so much data out there. A lot of people are like, oh, cryptocurrency is so good and this, but to me, data is the most valuable thing. There's so much data out there now, and data is extremely, extremely valuable because what can you do with data? You can analyze data to make an educated decision on what's going to happen next. And with that data, you can see trends, right? And then once you analyze those trends, you can get predictive, right? And you can predict what's going to happen next because of that data.
I'm getting like, I don't know, PPC goosebumps over here.
Yeah, I love talking about this stuff, I'm sure, as you can tell, right?
Yeah, it's interesting.
So in pretty much all paid media platforms that I've ever used, including, Google Analytics does the same thing. You can change attribution modeling in Google Analytics as well. It defaults to last click attribution modeling, which means it's only going to give credit to what brought you that conversion. Now, that's not necessarily accurate, and you want to make sure that you're providing accurate data, especially when you're in a paid media platform using smart bidding technologies with algorithms and things like that. You want to feed those algorithms as much true data as you possibly can. Now, first click, last click attribution, it's not true data. It's true data if it happens in one click, but it doesn't usually happen that way. So my personal favorite attribution modeling, and the one you will see on all of my paid media campaigns, is position-based. Now, the reason I use this, Candace, is because, in my opinion, what are the most important clicks? What brought them in, and what got me the conversion, the phone call, the sale, however your business handles it, right? So what position-based attribution modeling does is it assigns 40% credit to the first click, 40% credit to the last click. And if there are any additional clicks along that conversion funnel, it will assign credit to those as well. Now, let's say it only takes 2 clicks, then I'm 50 and 50, right? Now, this is extremely beneficial to people like myself who analyze the data inside these campaigns, because I'm going to see assisted conversion, right? Assisted conversion is probably the most helpful conversion, and a lot of times the most underutilized conversion, because people are not attributing conversion correctly. So your campaign is doing really, really well. You go in, you do an optimization, you start pausing keywords, like I was saying earlier. Now all of a sudden your performance tanks, and it's because you're not paying attention to the assisted conversion. With a position-based attribution model, you will see that assisted conversion, and you will not miss it, and you will pay attention to it, right? My recommendation across the board, position-based. I love it. I use it all the time. Now, what goes hand in hand with your attribution modeling is also your conversion value, right? In other words, how much this action, right? Your conversion is your desired action you want the person to take, whether it be a phone call, submit a form, go to your website and make a purchase, right? That's your conversion. Now, what's the value to you as a business owner for somebody taking that action? That's also extremely important, again, for feeding smart bidding technologies, algorithms, true data. But it's also important for people like myself who analyze data, and true marketers will really focus on a metric that is called ROAS, or return on ad spend. Now, the reason why this is really important is because you can't calculate return on investment without ROAS, right? It's not possible. It's one of the things that really sets digital marketing aside from your traditional marketing, like a billboard, right? It's not measurable. I spent $10,000 on this billboard. Well, what did you get in return? You don't know, right? Same thing goes into digital marketing. If you're not focusing on conversion value, same concept. You're not going to understand what your return on investment is, right? So it's very, very important to make sure that not only you're setting your attribution model appropriately, but you're also setting conversion values, because that's going to allow us to say, hey, this is how much money you've spent in advertising. This is how much you've generated in revenue. I will know how much you got back, right? Let's say you had a 500% return on ad spend or 500% ROAS. What that means is for every dollar I spent, I got $5 in return. Now, those are numbers that I look at, and those are numbers that I will share with our clients because they're very, very important numbers, right? You need to know that it's working for you. You need to know that it's generating revenue for your company. And you're not going to be able to know that data if you don't have the appropriate attribution model, and if you don't have the appropriate conversion value assigned to your conversion actions on your campaign.
Now, one thing I do have a question on is typically with our clients, we don't have a whole bunch of information about their revenue and what sales came out of what leads. So how do you have that ROAS conversation with our clients? Are there any industries that you do have insight into that? I don't know. Give us it all.
So it's very simple when it comes to e-commerce, right? Because e-commerce, I'm just going on, I'm making a purchase, and all that data goes into my campaign through my conversion tracking, right? So e-commerce is super, super easy because all the data is right there. And Google Ads will actually calculate the number for you. So you really don't even, it's not like I have to sit here and do a bunch of math because it's already there. Even though I can do the math, I don't necessarily like to, right? I like to focus on the digital marketing aspect of it. But let's use HVAC again as an example, right? It's a different environment, right? It's more of a lead versus an actual revenue generating sale. So that's where communication is extremely important with your account manager here at BizIQ, is because your account manager is going to ask you those types of things, right? One of the things that I do here is I listen to lead quality. I make sure that the leads we're sending you as a business are good quality. I make sure that they're jobs that are relevant to you, and that they're going to generate you revenue, right? So I may listen to a phone call, and it may be, hey, my air conditioning's broken. I need you to come get a new air conditioning. Come give me a quote. And so when our account manager talks to you, he may say, hey, you know what, Candace, on 6/10, we listened to this call. His name was Jim. Sounds like he had a broken AC unit. Really needed you to come out. How much revenue did that generate for you? Did you end up closing that? You know what, Candace? Yes, I did. I generated $8,000, right? That's the information that I need in order to know, is this profitable for you, right? because I don't know, because it's not a money for exchange. It's a lead, so it's a little bit different.
So if people are having their ads managed by another company, I don't know why they would ever go with anybody but BizIQ, but let's just say for the example that they are with another company and they are not giving this data to their account managers. Should they be worried about their accounts? What do you think?
I wouldn't necessarily say worried. I'd say I'd be more worried about where's my profitability at. Because again, it's at the end of the day, you're running advertising campaigns to generate revenue for your company. Now, if you don't know how much revenue that's generating for your company, or if you're having any sort of positive return on investment, is that advertising helping you or is it hurting you at that point?
Right.
Probably hurting you, right? Because you don't know. You could be spending, $6,000 a month in advertising costs, but you're only generating $2,000 a month off of it, right? At that point, it's not really helping you. It's more or less it's hurting you. So knowing that information, one, as a business owner, is extremely important, right? Making sure that you're keeping track yourself of the leads that you get and the outcome of those leads. Because then you're going to know, hey, this is actually really working or this is not working, right? And
Yes.
we're here to help you in that aspect, right? To say, hey, this is working. These are really good. I listened to these leads. I did this. I did X, Y, and Z. But we also need your help too, as the business owner, to be able to give us that information.
I love it. All right. Well, do you have anything else for us?
That's it, really. Just make sure your attribution modeling is correct. You're feeding true data into algorithms. Make sure that you're calculating your return on investment to know where your money is going and if it's helping your business or hurting your business. Importance of conversion value.
Perfect. Well, I do want to turn it back to our audience today. If you guys have any questions, I tried to pick his brain as much as I could where I saw little options. But if there was a question that you thought of that I didn't ask, please drop it in the chat and we would loved. We would love to continue to talk to you guys and answer the questions. I'm sorry, it's Friday. Apparently my brain has checked out.
This week has gone by really fast.
Yeah, it was because of last week was a long week. It was a physically short week, but it lasted like 5 years.
I agree. Yeah. Having a day off during the week is nice. Having a long weekend with the holiday, but then when you come in on Tuesday, you got all that work from Monday, and you're like,
yes, that was me too. I was like, oh gosh, how did we get here?
I know.
All right, but Anna Gallego said that she locked her keys in her truck.
Oh no.
Oh no, I know. Well, that is all we have for this week. Thank you, 5 million, Jake, for joining me today and talking with us. And thank you for tuning in, audience.
Absolutely.
If you have any questions, feel free to drop them below, and we would love to continue the conversation. But until then, stay safe, stay healthy.
Also, I was going to say is that sounds like an emergency services type of situation. So that's a one-click conversion. Go to Google.
Look at her.
Locksmith near me. Dun, 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 dun.
All right, guys. Well, I will see you guys next week. Bye.